So, as Janie said, I have my own PR company. I actually renamed it, rebranded myself just this summer. I'll go into a little bit more of that in a little bit. But my company now is Hilary Morris Public Relations, and I am what you would call a WAMpreneur, a work-at-home mompreneur, or work-at-home mom entrepreneur. All these terminologies, I learned mompreneur in the social media world, so a lot of little words for things. It's not a new concept, the work-at-home mom. I didn't reinvent any wheel, but I use social media to network with people and to promote my business and to get my brand out there, because I cannot physically be out there in person meeting with people all the time. I do belong to a chamber of commerce, and I joined pretty much right after I gave birth to my first daughter, but I really haven't been to an event since I used to volunteer for them, like regularly, and then I disappeared after my daughter was born. So I do have intentions, it's very hard to get out there. And it's also because of social media that I developed the skills and the experience for the services that I offer in my business. And it actually gave me the confidence, as Jill was saying, it gave me a lot of confidence to start my own business, because I didn't do this. This is not what I went to school for. I was not working in PR. I was actually a middle school teacher for 7 years. I taught math and computers, but I always dabbled in PR and events with volunteer work. And I've told a number of college groups, college classes or whatever, I'll say, when you get your first job or your second job, you may find that you're doing things on the side that don't have anything to do with your career. You're doing things on the side that you really enjoy, and you're going to come to some point where you're like, I wonder if I can make this my career, because I don't really like what I'm doing. And so how can I make this my job? And what can I do to pursue that further? And that's kind of where I was at in 2004, where I was doing a lot of the PR events, and I'm like, I like this so much more than teaching, and what can I do? How can I make this my career? So I enrolled in PR courses locally, and in 2007, a couple months after I actually launched my blog, Mrs. Mo's New Jersey, I left my teaching career, and my boss kind of knew this was coming, but I left my job to pursue my course load full-time, to pursue taking classes full-time during the day, and I filled my extra time with volunteer opportunities. I needed to create the resume builder. I needed to create the experience that I would use when I started my business. So just to kind of give you a little bit more of a rundown of what brought me here today, I told you I started my blog in 2007, and I left my teaching career in 2007. Pretty much a year after I left teaching, I had my first daughter, Maddie. She was 2.5. And a year after that, January 2009, I launched my business, and it was called H. Morris Solutions at the time. And I thought I was going to be doing virtual assistance work and some PR, because that's what I was doing a lot for people on the side. But then when I joined Twitter that fall, things started to change, and I put my blog out there. I started talking to people. I started making connections and relationships, and I wasn't a virtual assistant anymore. I was doing social media work for people and blog work and planning events, and things started to change for me. And so I got so busy that the next year, June 2010, I decided that after 3 years I would close my blog. I would stop publishing to it, because I was doing so much, and I was just getting so overwhelmed with being a mom and being an entrepreneur, trying to be an entrepreneur and a blogger and so many other things. I kind of hit a wall. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do everything. And I actually posted on Facebook. I was like, I think something has to go. And of course my mom was like, you just think of for yourself, take time for yourself. And when I told people online that I was going to close my blog, people were like, oh no, don't do it, we're going to miss you. But they're like, yay, go, you do, like, can't wait for what you're going to do next. Like, they were excited for me, but I really needed that, the kind of the boost, the support from the friends that I had gained online to really pursue what I wanted to do, which what I'm doing now, PR and special events and social media. So I closed my blog in this past June, and then a month later I had my second daughter. I didn't mention that in between. I got pregnant again. So I had Catherine in July, and yes, I checked in Foursquare when I arrived at the hospital. And I tweeted a picture of her with Maddie, and I posted it to Facebook, and I kept it all virtual. I kept myself connected, and I knew some people wanted to see her and see what was going on. And then, without taking a maternity leave, I rebranded my business. I changed the name, and I changed my logo, and I essentially relaunched myself as not a blogger but a business owner. And that's kind of what I've been doing since, is working on rebranding myself with the community I had developed as a business owner. And taking the connections I made already and maybe trying to turn them into professional connections and not just personal connections. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today, is some of the strategies that I've been using with social media to network and to promote myself and to really get my name out there. So I'm not sure how much time I have, a minute or two, but I had four, this is my teaching background. I was kind of planning my lesson plan, what I was going to say. I had four strategies that I wanted to talk about, but one of them actually was my how to get yourself in the door strategy. And instead of just being general, let me give you a specific example that recently a new client that I brought on board, and it was all strategy with social media. And because I could not physically meet them in person, I started the relationship online through Twitter. There was a local school, and actually an old high school rivalry, field hockey rivalry. And so I just started the conversation on Twitter, just talking about memories and talking about driving past the school. And I knew what I was doing. I knew I had my strategy, but I just wanted to get to know them. You want to know people that you potentially want to work with. But I got to talk to them on Twitter, and then they saw that I had a local blog. I blog for the Princeton Packet, and so we made that connection there, wrote a blog post about talking to them on Twitter, and then the director of communications gave me a call and was like, hey, I want to know more about what you're doing, tell me about your blog. And then we just got to talk about my business, and then things just started rolling from there, and now I'm going to be doing some social media work for them. So it all started with Twitter, and it just started talking about field hockey and a high school rivalry. But it's how I have to really leverage this free service, Twitter and Facebook and blogging, leverage that in a way to build my brand and build my business. And that's what I tend to do. I reach out to people to interview them, whether it's a written interview or a video. I've been doing a lot, trying to build my they're called blogs, video blogs. And I really enjoy just kind of almost like a make-believe news interview or whatever you want to call it. I go to the store and talk to a person, and we do a little video or any way that I can connect with people in the community, because I just can't be there in person. And that's been working for me pretty well, just to get my name out there. And then the other thing that I can't stress enough, and that I've been able to do actually this year because we put Maddie in nursery school. And she goes twice a week, or 2 days a week in the morning. And those mornings are now the times for me to set up coffee dates and meet people that I know online. And also I'll send them a tweet and say, hey, let's get coffee. And that's not so much an opportunity for me to be like, here's my business, here's what I do, hire me. It's more like, tell me what you're doing, how can we work together, and just tell me more about you. And because a lot of times when you form relationships online, sometimes the people you talk with are not so much an individual, they're maybe a business or a school, so you want to meet the person behind the name, behind the online identity. So that's what was really exciting for me, to use that opportunity to just to get out there even for an hour. While Maddie's at school, I have Catherine with me in the car seat, and I've been developing some new relationships there. And I would also say, in vice versa, any people you meet in person, networking you do in person, create those relationships online. Find out if they're on Twitter or if they have Facebook or whatever, and connect with them there, because then you can keep the conversation going, and you can introduce your new in-person connections to any of your online connections, and you just keep growing and building and building. So, I mean, I could keep going on and giving you ideas, but really, in a nutshell, it's certainly hard to balance being an at-home mom and a business owner. I mean, today we had guys putting new windows in my house, and so there's a lot of banging, and Maddie woke up from her nap, and Catherine obviously is still an infant and napping and eating, so I was trying to plan my talk for tonight, and so it can be chaotic at times, but it has worked. And and even on the days when it is crazy, I'm just really grateful to be there for all their giggles and their milestones and all the play dates and all the teachable moments that I can be there for them. And my only hope is that they watch me being a business owner, and maybe I might instill in them some sort of ambition or empowerment in themselves they don't have to be a business owner like me, but just know that they can do what they want. If they have an interest, they can pursue something, and that they could be a leader in their own community, in their own way. So that's